burning the short sellers.
I love burning the short sellers. Like almost nothing makes a human happier than taking the lines of cocaine and away from these short sellers who are going short on a truly great American company, not just ours, but just love pulling down great American companies so that they can pay for their Coke. And the best thing that could happen to them is we will lead their Coke dealers to their homes after they can't pay their bills. And that's like one of my...
Surely all short sellers...
Yeah, well, go ahead, do your thing. We'll do our thing.
Let's get down to Florida this morning, where our Sarah Eisen is sitting down exclusively with Palantir's Alex Karp.
Very nice to be here. Happy to be among the players.
Yeah, same here. So I want to talk about the stock for a moment. It has boomed, and you have seen a lot of growth recently driven by commercial accounts, corporate customers. What's driving that?
Well, I mean, America. America is the most meritocratic, competitive market in the world. And so that's obviously a huge advantage for us because our basic claim to fame is the software. Historically, over 20 years, the stuff you're installing isn't going to work. What we're doing will work. It's not, we built the software in a way maybe you wouldn't think it should be built, but that is the way it should be built, whether that's been on the battlefield, fighting terrorism, our AI product. And we go across the country and we say, you've installed a lot of things. You obviously see the power of AI. There's a question of what AI is. For some people, it's machine learning. For some people, it's algorithms. To some people, it's how do you actually extract value out of large language models. We will show you our product working in hours, and then you can actually compare it to what you would like to do. And in every other culture in the world, that's still very much driven by ideology of what should work. We have deep experience managing algorithms and now, by extension, large language models because of the work that our product has been used to power in the classified space.
Companies are eating it up.
And companies like it. They like the approach. I think, so one of the most important things that happened in software was large language models convinced people that you could get value out of AI. That's obvious. But they also somehow convince people software is not a luxury product. It has to work. It's got to move from something that you just paid for to something that improves your margins, improves your ability to organize your business, makes your business more robust. Also, last not least, one of the great dangers of this kind of the world is safe, everything's going to work out, we're all going to get richer and happier and like each other more farce was that the assumptions that your products could be not robust, barely work, thin, add no value, that was a playbook from Silicon Valley on to the commercial space. That playbook has just completely failed. And our view of how you build this is you build something that is more valuable for the partner, whether it's a classified space or a company employing hundreds of thousands of people that will help them.
So, but companies have a lot of choices now, and increasingly more choices. There's the Googles and the Microsofts, and what is it that you are providing that is different, and who do you compete with?
Well, I mean, you should ask the clients who are buying it what we're providing. But what we're really doing is saying, okay, everyone's making the same claim. The claim is you can get a large language model to increase your output at a lower cost. So you get more sales, more revenue, higher margins.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're making the same claim. The only thing is we're not making a claim. We're saying we will show you while they tell you. And those, all these people making all these claims are the only marketing we really have. Because the most important thing is now we've set a standard. The standard is we are going to make the enterprise more efficient. We're going to make the enterprise stronger. We're going to have innovation work in a way that it's differential, meaning innovation means nothing if 5 companies have the same exact margins, have the same exact ability to transform, are equally robust. We're saying pick a part of your business. For some people, by the way, it's not margins, it's not even, it's like, okay, they're worried that their supply chain may break tomorrow because they're dependent on a part that comes from a country that's about to be disrupted. They're worried that they have to figure out what's likely to break in their product. They don't have enough engineers. People have very disparate use cases, but the basic use case is my business has to be healthier, stronger than it is now, and healthy and stronger than the people I compete against.
Yeah, I mean, what are some good, if you could, specific use cases? Because you've called out companies in earnings publicly. Airbus, for instance. We talked to you when the CEO of Hertz, the car rental company. Where's it working best?
I mean, it's working very well in all these companies. I mean, one use case I'm very, very excited about is our work that's now public with Panasonic battery. So this is super interesting. Most batteries that have to be built for EVs were built formerly in Japan. How do you bring a company that, produces things in a exceedingly Japanese robots, Japanese workers, people who've been working in that environment for 30 years, people who know their machine that builds the battery so well that they can literally walk by it and intuit it's wrong? How do you bring that to Nevada and then have people who are high school, college trained, who are not engineers, who have never worked at a battery company, that are from a completely different culture than ours or theirs, and ramp it up so that they can go to the machine and figure out, where's the machine broken? How do I replace parts before they're broken? How do I actually understand which part is the problem, which part is not the problem? Every single part has a 10,000-page manual on how you fix it. So you basically, and what if the engineer in Japan is not available? So these are use cases you can actually do with large language models and our product. The other thing you can do is you can produce a manufacturing environment just like you can in Taiwan and Japan in this country. So these environments are built specifically for Japanese and Taiwanese and other cultures. And in the past, you just couldn't build it in America. Now you can. And then there's a myriad of other ones, like how do you task a satellite? You're a large agricultural company. You have to decide which satellite you deploy over which satellite you don't. And then for more technical people, who gets to decide where your production goes? Who can shut it down? Who can ramp it up? Who can these things? You just can't walk into an enterprise with a large language model, outsource your knowledge of your enterprise, and task the large language model. You'd be essentially outsourcing. You could hallucinate your business out of business.
So when I said you were coming on, I talked to some of the analysts, and they all want to talk about these boot camps that you do, because apparently this is just like super fast, right? Training on AI and on your platforms, and they want to know how quickly you are transforming corporate companies into accounts off of these boot camps. I think you've done more than 800.
Yeah. So, but the relevant, a couple years ago, we were doing like 70, 80, 90 pilots a year, and now in the next year, we're going to do 20 times that, boot camps. And what's
the strategic advantage of them?
Well, everyone's claiming to do things, and we're showing them being done. So it's like, well, look, we could hire marketing. We've never been good at marketing. We could run around and say there are 50 things we do better. There are certain also technical things that we've built that people don't understand their value yet. So it's better just to show the value of an ontology, show the value of a robust enterprise offering, show the value of your ability to do handoffs inside your enterprise, disambiguate write from read functions in the context of using you can have long conversations, or you can show it. So that's the central advantage. And by the way, the other advantage is, just like we've done across U.S. government, we want to set a standard, and then everyone can be measured by that standard. Great. It's meritocracy out there. XYZ company AI.com. Great. Well, why aren't you doing boot camps? It's like we have decades of product experience in our products that are valuable for this use case. And then on the conversion thing, look, it's like what we are seeing people adopt, recalibrate their standard, and quite frankly, as you saw, if you've seen this morning, people are recommending our product one to another. One of the other things that's very special about the U.S. opposed to American CIOs, CEOs, and others, they call their buddies. They're like, hey, you're driving Palantir. I'm driving Palantir. Maybe you ought to get on the Palantir train. So, that it's kind of an obvious thing. There's no point in us saying our product is the best when we can show it to be the best.
Got it. Well, you're also, use cases on the battlefield as well. Obviously, the government is a huge customer. You recently secured the Titan contract, which was a big deal because it was for building a vehicle, right? Using the software to build a vehicle. What is it allowing you to do? How is it changing modern warfare?
The most important thing our country can do is, in the defense context, is just absorb the profound banality that America's better at software than any other country in the world, and especially than our adversaries.
How much better are we?
Well, I know of no I know of no enterprise software company outside of America that would even ever consider doing a boot camp. You can argue that others just copy us, and you can compare ours. There's no company that's even going to respond to that. So it's like there are no large enterprise companies that I'm aware of in software in China. There are basically the companies in Europe that exist are older. They're not charismatic in this country. So it's basically, one of the things that's interesting about our country is we're so good at certain things, we underestimate how much better we are than others because it just seems normal. But the tech industry, the tech ecosystem, a term I hate, is unique from venture to production. Also, we build companies that have a new playbook. There is no playbook for Palantir. So it's like, so then you're ready for the world as it exists, not as the world as it existed 20 years ago. So what is the conceptually and tactical most important thing about Titan is we became a software prime. If we are going to scare our adversaries, not kind of make them wonder if they should attack us, but make them terrified to consider attacking us, we have to play on our terms. Just like an obvious thing about winning is you don't allow the adversary to define the terms of battle. The terms of battle that the adversaries like are hardware because they have like very technical hardware cultures. They don't have software culture. So the more we can do software-empowered weapon systems, the more it becomes our game. By the way, and there's just a lot of cascading advantages because one of the issues we have to resolve in this country is, well, how do you do enough manufacturing to supply the hardware side of it? That's also a software problem. How do you bring a manufacturing culture back to America so that you can actually produce the armaments? Well, you can be like a second-rate hardware culture, or you can be a first-rate software-driven hardware culture. And that was the aspiration, and that's why internally, you have always had this thing, like there's external excitement, internal excitement. We at Palantir are very excited about the Titan win. First of all, we won, which is like, now we're a large company, we're profitable.
Investors are excited about it.
Investors are excited about it.